Welcome to our video to inform you about the Department of Material Science and Engineering here at Clemson University. My name is Bernadine Dyshant. I'm a senior and I will be one of your presenters.
And my name is Shelly Phillips. I am also a student in the department and I'm also a senior.
Hi, I'm Laura Kennard. I'm Student Services Coordinator for the department.
And hi, I'm Thompson Mefford. I'm actually an alumni of the department. I actually came back as a faculty member back in 2008, and I'm also the Director of Undergraduate Education.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So everything you need, everything is made from materials. MSc is a very broad field, so regardless of what industry you're really going into, everyone is going to need a materials engineer in their own industry, whether you're interested in plastics or metals or composites, fibers, whatever you're interested in is going to need materials.
So down to the nitty-gritty of what material science and engineering actually is. So as you can probably guess from our major title, we do use science and engineering. So what we're really doing is we're studying the science behind why materials act the way that they do. And then we're using our engineering skills that we start building up our freshman year, and we use that to wrap up all of that science. And so then we are able to find materials for the right job. So anything from nanotechnology to just general manufacturing, everything needs that touch from materials.
So this is some of the research that we are currently conducting at Clemson University. Dr. Urban, one of our professors, is working on self-healing materials for phone screens. And in this case, the idea is to say that under certain stimulus that the phone screen will actually heal itself, so you don't always have to keep going and getting it replaced whenever you drop it. And that's just one of the applications that you can do with materials science.
And even past just cell phones, if you're not interested in working towards technology, there's tons of other areas that are really cutting edge and MSc is deeply involved in. So as you can see, we have healthcare solutions, we have sporting equipment, it's all made of materials. Football helmets are always being advanced in order to better protect players, and a big key part of that is the whole materials that the helmet are made with. This also goes back to semiconductors, you know, making better materials that are more efficient for solar panels, really anything you could think of.
Right, so how do you earn a degree in MSc at Clemson? Ms. Kennard will speak to you on that.
Okay, so how do I earn a material science and engineering degree? Well, there's a lot of math, chemistry, physics, basic engineering skills. You start out actually in the general engineering program, complete some key courses, and then you will transition to material science and engineering program. And your sophomore year is actually when you start taking material science and engineering courses, and along with a lot more math, and the full year of organic chemistry and physics, and then strength and statics of materials, as well as engineering graphics. And then your junior year is when all of these math, chemistry, and physics course principles are put together to where you are actually getting to do lab experiments hands-on, specifically tailored for material science and engineering. That's a full year sequence. You will also be learning about how to manufacture these materials processing, as well as career fields within material science and engineering with the professional development course, and then also thermodynamics of materials and transport of materials at the molecular level. Your senior year is the opportunity for you to choose your own adventure. We have emphasis areas such as energy materials, biomaterials, photonic, optical, and electrical materials, advanced manufacturing with the growth in 3D printing, and polymer structure synthesis and design. So you can choose what type of career field you want to go into and use the courses that we have available to tailor your senior year. And then every student is required to do research. So you're paired with a faculty research group. You get to plan and then actually conduct some experiments and learn how materials are developed. Then a really interesting course is senior capstone design, to where you are placed in a group and you design and go through the process of how you would create a small business based on a new product that is materials based and is innovative and something that is specifically helpful to the world. So that's a nice course as well. And then we also have the general education requirements to round out engineers to be able to communicate with both written and oral presentations. And next up is Dr. Mefford, who will talk about the advising process for our program.
Excellent. Thanks, Laura. One thing I want to highlight here is the unique size of our department. You know, we're a relatively small department within a fairly large university. And I think that family atmosphere kind of gives students a unique advantage in material science and engineering. So as you matriculate from general engineering into material science and engineering, not only do you have a student service coordinator in Ms. Laura Kennard, but beyond that, you're actually assigned an academic advisor. This is someone who actually meets with you, helps you work towards your class goals, figures out what's the best place for student clubs to study abroad. And then you also are assigned a professional advisor. This is one of our 22 faculty members. And you know, this allows you to actually meet someone, talk about internships, talk about graduate school, and talk about what's the next step for you in your professional career. Beyond that, I want to emphasize, you know, this is that unique size of these 22 faculty members, and each one has about 6 or 7 mentees. And that's close relationship, something that's going to carry through your whole time at Clemson. The other thing that, because of our size and also because of our history, we've got a large amount of scholarships available compared to most departments. Right now, 72% roughly of material science and engineering students receive some sort of scholarship. That's very, very generous on our behalf. And the idea I want to emphasize to those listening today, if you come here and you work hard, we're there to reward you. You got to put the effort in, but we're very there and we want to support you throughout your whole journey here at Clemson. So who is the material science department? So roughly we have about 130 undergrads. And so you can think about that, basically divide by 3. And so that's roughly about 40 students per class. We have about 65 grad students, 20-ish faculty member, and then 10 technical staffs. We're housed in Serene Hall, which is the old historic textiles building. We're housed in Olin Hall, which is the old historic ceramic engineering building. And then my lab is actually located at the Advanced Materials Research Lab. And this is a cutting edge facility. It's also home to the electron microscopy facility. And the neat thing is our students are exposed to all these different facilities, all different equipment throughout their time here at Clemson. We're very hands-on and we want our students to be prepared to learn all these unique attributes to material science and engineering.
So now Shelly and I are going to talk to you about some of our co-curricular activities. So we talked about research in our curriculum, but you can also do research outside of the department required courses. You can do paid research with professors at the Advanced Materials Research Lab, as Dr. Mefford was talking about, or at the Brick Center, which is also near that lab, or you can do it within the department for another professor throughout the year. You can also take part in what is commonly known as Research Experiences for Undergraduates, or REUs for short, sponsored by the National Science Foundation, which takes you on a 10-week paid internship of sorts, to where you can go to either national labs across the country or to other universities and take part in their research that they're doing. And on top of, but if you don't necessarily want to do something that's research-based, you can also just do another internship, which are typically also 10 weeks during the summer. And we have a great career development department at Clemson that will help you find those places. And as well, Laura is also fantastic when it comes to finding internships, because she always will make sure to distribute that information for anyone that's looking for interns over the summer.
We also have a really great co-op program at Clemson. So you can work with local companies, or I know like GE, for example, places students all around the country. That's a really great program. It'll involve 3 rotations if you do it with the co-op office through Clemson. You can also get these co-ops outside of Clemson. So for example, I have done some rotational internships, which are basically the same thing as co-ops, just under a different kind of structure through Bosch itself. So while it kind of falls more technically under the guise of an internship, that is still technically a co-op, so you can go back for multiple rotations. And you can also engage in some study abroad opportunities. So even though you're an engineering student, it might seem a little bit daunting to try to find an engineering course to take abroad, but we do have a lot of programs where you can go. There's an automotive program that goes to Germany. There's sustainability programs and all sorts of different things. So you don't just have to go get your gen eds abroad. We actually, in this picture, this is one of our students who is actually studying abroad in Europe, or not, excuse me, she studied abroad in Europe, and now she's working on getting her PhD at a European university now. So it opens lots of awesome opportunities. And then lastly, we have several professional chapters within the department. So these are basically just student organizations, but they're specifically for material students or just engineering students. So we have Material Advantage, which is just kind of a catch-all for anybody who's in material science. And then we also have 2 honor societies, Keramos and Phi-Sci, that are for ceramic and polymer engineering respectively. And then this 4th club mentioned here is Tau Beta Pi. So that's all different engineering majors, which is a great opportunity. It is also an honor society, so you have the opportunity to meet a lot of different engineering students from other disciplines that are also very academically motivated.
Right, so with a bachelor's from material science, there are multiple opportunities for you to go on to different fields. You can either go into industry, or you can go to grad schools and professional schools. These are just some of the graduate schools and professional schools that our students have gone to. Others also include like University of Tennessee and MIT, and you don't necessarily only have to go for your PhD or your master's. You can also go and to law. Patent law is a very common thing for anyone that's interested, that comes out of material science. And you can also go into medicine and dentistry.
And it's also possible too, most of our students go straight into industry. So this is just kind of a sampling of some of the companies our students have gone to in the past. Some of my good friends have gone to work for Michelin or Milliken for polymer-based jobs. I had a friend who interned at Polymed last summer. You can even, of course, working at NASA are a lot of great engineering opportunities, and even places like Nike will take a lot of textiles engineers because, you know, everything has materials, even running shoes.
Excellent. I want to wrap up the conversation and talk a little bit about, okay, once you've had this Clemson experience, and you can see we can kind of tailor it to whatever your direct interests are. When you graduate with a bachelor's degree, you can expect a starting salary around $65,000. And I should point out that material science and engineering graduates are right at the top tier of starting salaries for the university. Most of our students do go into industry, either in manufacturing or sort of quality control, trying to think about how to make improvements on materials. Some go to grad school, and then others are actually seeking out other employment opportunities, this be the military or other professional opportunities. And that's a great way to kind of think about where we are as a field is companies want our graduates. And it's something really exciting to see where people are going these days. Not only can you get a bachelor's degree in material science, with this flexible curriculum that we have, you can actually get a 5th year master's students. As long as you have a GPA of 3.4, what you can do is start earning up to 12 credit hours your senior year, and then that rolls into the 5th year master's degree. The nice thing about that is you don't have to take the GRE, you don't have to do the application fee, and that you can actually use your scholarship money to apply towards those undergraduate classes that you're kind of double dipping for both the bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And being able to graduate with a master's degree in 5 years opens up a lot of opportunities that would not be possible without this program. So real quick, I want to say thank you. You see both my contact information, Ms. Kennard's contact information, and I want to emphasize, those students out there who probably have questions, email Ms. Kennard. We can actually put you in touch with a number of our students, and they can tell you firsthand what it's like to be a student here at Clemson in material science and engineering. If you love chemistry, you love being applied to chemistry, this is a really good family home for you, and I would encourage you to look more into material science and engineering. Thank you.